Hi and welcome to your quick start guide to managing your PhD with SkillsForge. SkillsForge covers everything from submitting and tracking your research degree forms, managing leave, helping you to assess your own training needs, finding and booking courses and recording your ongoing development. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is to type in skillsforge.mmu.ac.uk into the top of your web browser and log in using your normal student login details. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to be using our test account. So once you've logged in, the first screen that you'll see in the system is your home page. This is where you'll see announcements, reminders, and any forms in the system that require signatures. So you can see these reminders and the milestones that you need to complete throughout your PhD, and this is where you'll see those forms. The other good things you can do from your home page is set up calendar sharing. So if I click on the calendar settings tab in here, you can make sure that any courses you book onto and those milestone reminders and the form reminders automatically populate in either your Outlook or your Google Calendar. One thing you do need to bear in mind though is there is a 24-hour delay, so things will always show up in SkillsForge the day before they appear in your diary. So it is always useful to keep checking in here as well. And the other features of the Home tab is the Notes and Memos section. So this is just for you to create some notes for yourself, and these don't go through to anybody else, no one else can see those. And that is your homepage. Go back to the welcome on there. The next tab I want to show you is the My Degree tab. So in here, you'll see a wider list of those milestones that you had the reminders for on the homepage. And as you complete those milestones throughout your PhD, you'll also be able to expand the list to show the old milestones that you've already completed. But obviously for this student, they haven't been with us very long, so they don't have any of those in our system yet. The next part of the My Degree tab is your application to register for your PhD, and I'll use this section just to show you very quickly what the forms look like in here. So they all work as pop-outs and everything's completed within SkillsForge, so there's no printing necessary. So you can see where this particular form is up to. It's been completed by the student. It needs to be signed off by both the student and their supervisor, and then from there it will then go to the faculty research degrees administrators and eventually to the scrutineers as well. So we have the date for this particular form, the type of degree that this person is doing, the student details in here, a breakdown of your supervisory team, details on your research project itself, including your proposal, your timelines, etc. We've got your ethics checklist, insurance checklist, you can attach your risk assessments, and this is also where you can declare that you've completed the research integrity course as well. And then as you scroll to the bottom, we have a declaration statement, and to sign this particular form, it's already been done, but there would just be a sign button here that you would just click, and that is your signature. So there's nothing else that you would need to do. So if I close this one on the screen, the other parts of this section are your progression review, also known as your transfer of study forms. It's the RD2. You'll need to complete this after 12 months of your full-time study or 24 months of part-time. And it's also where some students can use this form to transfer from a master's to their PhD or their MPhil, etc. Other parts of here include the application to extend your deadlines or to apply for a temporary suspension to your studies. These, again, are both pop-out forms. You can find the extension form here in the RD4 section, and the suspension form is within the RD5 there. And the last part of the My Degree tab is your annual leave. So should you need to request annual leave for any reason, you click the link within here, put down how many days, the start date of your annual leave, any supporting information that you need to put through, and then you would just submit that on the system. You don't need to sign this particular one because it's your supervisor that would need to sign off on that one for you. So I will delete this one without submitting it. So you can see we've already got one leave request here, and this will show the full breakdown of any leave that you've put through the system. And should you need to, you can print from here, but the system does store it all for you. So the next tab I'm going to show you is My Supervision, now that we've seen the Home tab and My Degrees. So in My Supervision, this is all about your supervisory arrangements. Should there be any changes to your supervisory team, this is where that will show through. And then you've also got your RD9 form where you record the details of your regular supervisory meetings. So again, this is just a pop-out form where you pop through the main points of your discussion with your supervisor, any action points that have come from the meeting. Then you would tick who attended the meeting and click sign, and that's your signature. Your supervisor will then add their comments and they will sign, and then it will come back to you to sign off and just make sure that both of you are happy with what's been recorded for that meeting. So if I close this one off, and you can see we've got the details of previous supervisory meetings for this test student. So this particular form is in progress. For this one, it's been submitted, but it hasn't been signed off yet. And again, just like your annual leave, you can print these off should you wish to as well. So that's the home page, My Degrees and My Supervision. The last active tab I'm going to show you is the My Development tab. So in here, the first screen you will see is your training needs analysis. Now this is based off the Vitae Researcher Development Framework. So within here, you can also go and review that framework, and that can open in a new tab. And then we've broken the framework down into these sections where you can create a training need against each area. So these again are all pop-ups. So if I click to create a new training need for the student, you can see it pre-populates with which area, whether it's A, B, C or D. You put down which particular skill it is that you feel you need to work on. So say communication media. And this particular student, I am going to research the usefulness of using social media to advertise my research. And then you would just click save, and that will go into your list down here. So you can see we've got 2 that have been submitted already. And if I go into view that one, you can see I've done this one earlier as well. I've got research the use of social media in promoting my research. And then from here, the next thing you need to do is to then obviously go and fulfill those training needs. So one of the ways you can do this is to find and book yourself onto both online and face-to-face courses from your faculty and from the graduate school. So that's done in this find and book courses area. It's broken into 2 sections. You've got your full list of courses, so they are all going to show up on the screen on the right-hand side, or you can filter them to fulfill those various areas of the RDF framework. So if you know that there are certain parts of category A that you need to fulfill based on your training needs, you're going to find and book courses, click on the green category, and this will then, on the results panel, only show the courses that fulfill that particular area. So it allows you to target your development in there. As well as the face-to-face courses, as I've said, you will find the list of online courses that you can go straight to from here, just to make it easier for you to find everything that's available for you. So that's the university courses. The next section here is your own activities. So these are things that you're doing outside of your faculty and the graduate school training that's available. So you can see we've got things like teaching and demonstrating, volunteering, conferences, etc. And all of these have a simple pop-out form for you to complete. So I'm just going to other activity. You tell it which particular RDF category it fulfills, where it was that you completed that activity, what it was that drew you to it, that made you do that particular development activity, what it was that you did, what you've learned from that, and also how that's going to affect your research studies going forwards. And you can attach any extra files and things like that. And then once you're done, you would just submit it in the system, and that will go to your supervisor to add any comments that they wish to. Once you've completed those pop-outs, they will then go into your development summary. So you can see this is a pathway that you follow. You identify your training needs in the training needs analysis, book yourself onto some courses and find the online tools available, record the stuff that you're doing outside of your faculty and the graduate school, and then in here is the summary of everything that you've done. So this will show any courses that you've attended, any of your own activities that you recorded, and this will be a full list, and you can then print this entire page or print the individual sections as well. So these are all the active areas that you have access to. There's also another tab within here, which is the My Examination tab. This is eventually where you'll be able to have your approval examiners form, your final thesis submission, and the organisation of your Viva as well. These are coming to SkillsForge in 2017, but we thought we'd add them in here for you now just so that you know that they are something that's going to be available going forwards. So that's been your tour of the SkillsForge site. Should you need any additional help, your faculty research degrees administrators are available to give you some more in-depth information, and also IT services are there if you have any technical problems with the system. You'll also see on the graduate school web pages there are more tutorials on how to go through the various elements of the site, but I hope this has been a useful, quick overview of everything that you can do.